Coaching the National Football League, I'm nervous about talking to Coach Wooden. Pick up the phone, he puts you right at ease. He went right to the issues, and it was very meaningful to me.
How do players 70, 80 years younger than John Wooden react when you bring his ideas to the team?
His philosophy, it's timeless. And it doesn't matter if you're 21 years old or if you're 90 years old. You say that this man was a great basketball coach, but the lessons that he lends to the rest of us are about life.
Tom Coughlin learned some life lessons this year. Adapt or else. If he didn't adapt, he might not be the Giants coach after the way last season ended. How have you seen the change in Tom Coughlin?
Not a lot of change. Tom's going to be himself. He's not going to change much. I think the biggest change that I could perceive is that he was the same all day long. Tough, be early to meetings. I'm going to hold you responsible and accountable on the field, off the field, in the locker room. But at the end of the day, I'll leave my door open. Usually it's closed. Now I'm going to leave it open to alleviate some communication problems and let players let some steam off. That's the biggest change I saw.
You win in the locker room, and Tom Coughlin understands that. Sometimes there's addition by subtraction. We don't have time to go there, but this is a team now that has great harmony, not only on the football field, but in the locker room and the meeting room. They actually like each other now.
You know Tom Coughlin's background. You know he's a good man with a huge heart. His team didn't see that. He shared a little more of that with them this year.
I agree
and
with
I think that had a huge impact. By the way, who watches with pride today? Bill Parcells, somewhere in Florida. Franchises he helped turn around, coaches he helped develop. He watches them coach here in Super Bowl 42. You can stay in touch with us online, ESPN.com. Countdown Online has everything you would want to know about Super Bowl 42. News, analysis, and a whole lot more. Check out Countdown Online. We continue live from Arizona.
Don't call me when they're in my town. Call me when they're on my block.
Mercury Morris and Don Shula live on the set. Do the 72 Dolphins believe their perfect record will stay safe? Plus, which under-the-radar stars will overperform and steal the spotlight? X Factors coming up. And Lost in the postseason. If Tom Brady doesn't find Randy Moss today, will number 81 stand pat? Find out next.
Welcome back, everybody, to our Super Bowl countdown. The Dallas Cowboys, Emmett, have appeared in the most Super Bowls of any team 8 times. The Denver Broncos, Tom, have appeared in 6 Super Bowls. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Terry, Mel, Twanny, etc. They've appeared in 6 Super Bowls, and now they're joined by the New England Patriots, the lineage of 6 Super Bowls. Sal Paolantonio, guess what? They're back.
Yes, they are back. You know, the undeniably electric and always eclectic Randy Moss, who had a record-setting performance in the regular season, has been held in check in the postseason. Just 2 catches for 32 yards and no touchdown passes. I asked Randy Moss how important it was for him to get involved early in the Patriots offense today against the New York Giants, and he told me he doesn't care about his catches. He just hopes to wear that jewelry at the end of the day.
Being the last game of the season, nothing has gotten in my way from going out there and making it happen. So getting any balls in the victory, I'm fine with that as long as I got that ring at the end of the day.
Randy's going to have an impact on this game whether he catches the ball or he doesn't. And if he's open, he's getting the ball. There's no doubt about it. If they are covering him with 2 guys, you got to throw the ball to other places.
You know, in 3.5 weeks, Randy Moss becomes a free agent. And I asked Moss about that, and he said emphatically he wants to retire as a New England Patriot. And Boomer, Tom Brady took it a step further. He said he and Randy Moss are a package deal. Where Randy goes, I go.
Well, why not? They went there 23 times for touchdown. And who would have guessed, boy, Randy Moss jersey's New England? No, he'll never be on the Patriots. Where? Well, now they're in the record books together. So let's put it to you, Keyshawn. What kind of impact does Moss have today?
I think he's going to have a huge impact. I know earlier in the week Moss said he would like to catch footballs in this game, but then he did it the Patriot way. He said the victory is important. And I think when you look at that as a wide receiver, you watch these game plans, when they come in on Wednesday, you see your number called. And I think Moss was extremely excited about that. And he kind of told me by saying that I'm going to get the football because he can outrun the safeties. It's not the cornerbacks. They're going to be in his face. They're going to be in a trail technique. It's the safeties that he's going to have to outrun. And I think, Steve, when you look at it, Jerry Rice was your favorite receiver in that Super Bowl, and you knew how important it was to get Jerry the football, and you guys went on to win.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, Key, coming from you, it's kind of ironic that you'd be throwing this to me after your title of your book. Hey, listen, you know, Randy Moss for this, tactically for the Super Bowl, does not need to catch the football. As Tom Brady said, if he's open, he'll get the ball. If he's not, we'll go somewhere else. The big impact that Randy Moss has is in warm-ups. The Giants come out, there's Randy Moss. Oh, the safeties, corners, and we got to double cover and watch him. If he catches 0 balls or 100 balls, the Patriots, it doesn't really matter. What really matters is emotionally in the Super Bowl, you never know how it's going to go. I remember Ricky Waters in our Super Bowl yelling to the sidelines, how am I going to be the MVP if you don't give me the ball? That's where the Super Bowl changes things. Does Randy get into the second quarter and say, hey, wait a second. Emotionally, tactically, he does not need to catch the football. Emotionally, he might very well need to catch the football in a Super Bowl. It'll be interesting to watch that. Boomer?
All right, Steve. Well, hey, you know, you like that seat at the stadium you got? Don't leave! Because after the game, Steve, Tom, and yours truly, it's just fun to hear the music, Tom. Super Bowl NFL Friday at 10:30 after the trophy ceremonies are done. We'll be back.
The only 2 left from the last Giants Super Bowl team. How Michael Strahan and Amani Toomer caused trouble for each other. Plus,
hey, I'm Kenny Mayne. I'm on a horse right now. That's pretty weird. Nowhere near as weird as my story. Coming up later on Countdown. We're going to blow up a car.
And find out why protecting Tom Brady can be a hairy situation in more ways than one. For the rugged men making up Patriots' offensive line. Next.
Touchdown, Amani Toomer. Under pressure, and he's sacked by Michael Strahan.
Describe your relationship with Amani Toomer.
It's great. Yeah, we love each other. That's my guy.
I'd say he's like an older brother. You know, he's, well, a lot older.
He loves the gap tooth jokes.
I always talk about his teeth, you know. For all that money he got, he should be able to fix those, you know what I mean?
You don't need a bottle opener, you know, all those silly things.
He could put 2 teeth in between there. He could do a whole bunch of things, just try to, you know, look more presentable.
I always talk about his nose. It's quite a, you know, gonzo, you know, Muppet size snogs and all, you know.
We kind of mess around with each other a little bit, you know. I think we try to keep each other young.
Made the great friend, one of the friends that when you leave the game, you still have.
2 Giants survivors, the last 2 guys who were part of the Giants Super Bowl 35 team will be taking the field here at University of Phoenix Stadium a little bit later on. Time now for all of our experts to give their X factors, and not the obvious guys, the ones who will be difference makers. And although Steve didn't take my suggestion of Vince Wilfork of the Patriots, I'm curious who your X factor is.
Guy loves the line of scrimmage, you, Mike. That's great. I'm going to look for to score some points. And Amani Toomer, they're going to need to score those 5 touchdowns today to win this football game. And how are you going to do it? Well, Amani Toomer better catch a couple of those, especially down in the red zone, because if you're kicking field goals in a championship game, you're going to lose. Amani Toomer could change that.
All right, my X factor is going to be Rodney Harrison, the safety for the New England Patriots. He's become a box player. Very good against the run, but he's been struggling against the pass. That's why he's down in the box. In this game, he's going to have to cover Kevin Boss. Who you got there, Coach Ditka?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Giants' front 4 on defense will either be the X factor or the Y factor. It depends. If they get to the quarterback and pressure him, they will be the X factor. If they don't, goodbye.
Uh-oh. Jabril Wilson, you heard that. You're going to have to step up to the plate, man, and give some help at those corners positions to neutralize Randy Moss. Force him to go inside, catch those footballs across the middle. But if you slip up, bye-bye.
Key, I'm going to take the kicker of the Giants, Lawrence Tynes, and not just for having to kick field goals and score every time you get a chance. Of course, you'd like to have touchdowns, but when you get a chance to score, you got to score. But hidden yardage, Patriots always one of the better return teams in the league. Make them take it 80 yards or more.
And Tom, you know, when you have thunder and lightning, I like to see a little lightning. Last time, Amon Bradshaw did not play against this team. He was hurt, but now he's back in the playoff. He has 39 attempts for 163 yards, averaging about 4.2 per carry. So he should have a big day and will be an X factor in this game.
Emmett, one of the great stories of this Super Bowl is Junior Seau coming back out of retirement to play and try to win a Super Bowl. He was in one at 94 with the Chargers, but I wonder if it's not Vrabel, if it's Junior Seau to perhaps on special teams get a touchdown if the situation dictates himself. Well, just like Tom Brady is likely to throw to Randy Moss and Eli Manning is likely to throw to Plexico Burress, the main event goes back to his strong suit for Super Bowl 42. It's Sopranos 2. This time, it's personal. Kenny has new personnel, which includes a Hall of Fame cast, a team of horses, and a little guy who saved Kenny's life.
This story begins in November with a deal brokered in a back room. Tony Sirico would perform as Paulie one last time.
I'm not talking about The Sopranos. You got that?
In exchange, he'd be delivered 4 prime seats for Super Bowl 42. Or else. ESPN presents John Elway, Stacy Keebler, Matt Leinart as Brock Holmes, and Kenny Mayne in Look Out, Run, Paulie's Coming.
Looking for 4. He's 4 prime seats. He's got 4 prime. He's got that. Don't tase me, bro.
He needed 4 bad, real bad. Paulie was doing town Friday. The pressure was building.
You don't have 4 together available?
4? No, I don't.
Tom, can you get like 4 guys in? Just say they're with the band.
And Neil Young's already using that line.
Before we get to the Defensive Player of the Year, I need 4. Well, you have 4 tickets to Super Bowl? I just need 4. Man, get out of here. I'll do anything for 4 tickets. Anything you want.
No.
Oh, come on.
By Thursday, Kenny had switched rental cars and added a sidekick. They were off to Vegas, anywhere Paulie wasn't.
What was that?
I don't know.
You sure this is the way to Vegas?
I think so.
Just keep going then.
Hold it, boss. Something doesn't feel right. We gotta get out of here. Go, boss, go, go, go. Get out of here. Come on, come on. Boss, boss, can you hear me? Boss.
Dave Craig, is that you?
No, it's me.
No, him.
Yeah, it's me. I got here as soon as I heard. You guys gotta get the heck out of here. What the heck are you guys doing out here anyway?
I was looking for Super Bowl tickets, now I'm getting out of town.
Tickets? I had 12. Gave them away. I don't like crowds.
I got 4 of them right here. Why didn't you tell me? Never talk anymore.
Narrated by Michael Clark Duncan.
Kenny and Dave Craig riding off of the Ponderosa. Somehow, the Duke, right?
Good they didn't mistime that car explosion.
Yeah.
That's good TV.
The main event, hope you enjoyed the year with the main event. We sure did. When we were, he's a moron. I love that. Well, G-men or P-men? What's it going to be today? Super Bowl 42. We are rolling till 2 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Hawaiian. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Perfect finish or an upset for the ages? See if anyone on the crew will step up and take Big Blue. Plus, attacking Tom Brady. What the Giants defense better do to rattle the Pats QB in the pocket. Facing Tom Brady's offensive line has been a hairy experience for Pats opponents this season. Literally. We get to the root of the matter in New England. Next. Welcome back to a special edition of Sunday NFL Countdown from Arizona. Presented by IBM.
Well, our coverage, aided by our friends at Goodyear, they've got the eye on our guys on the demo field. You can get there on triple tread technology with Goodyear. There have been famous groups of bearded men in sports before. We had some great football players, Franco Harris, Dan Fouts, Earl Campbell. Remember the old touring House of David baseball team, all with beards? Rock and roll certainly had theirs, like ZZ Top, those sharp-dressed men. Well, football is where it really belongs. Big, burly men. Dan Haggerty, better known as Grizzly Adams, was one of the original man's man. The bearded star of a 1970s popular movie and TV series featuring the great outdoors presents a story of 5 kindred spirits of New England.
Hi, I'm Grizzly Adams. Yeah, I've wrestled bears. I've chopped down entire forests. Built log cabins with my bare hands. You got to know yourself to be able to do these things. It's about commitment. It's about inner strength. It's about courage. Let me tell you a story about 5 guys that embody this rugged exterior. Massachusetts, the birthplace of a nation and a fierce spirit of independence. You can still see it today, more than 2 centuries later, in the unified facial front of the Patriots' offensive line. Left tackle, Matt Light, Matthew McConaughey.
We don't get scared. That's part of the beard.
Left guard, Logan Mankin, the Merlin Olsen.
It's got a lot of girth on it right now, so it's a pretty good beard.
Center, Dan Copen, the resident Redbeard.
Copen looks like he got kidnapped by the Amish family that lives in Foxborough.
That may have been a true story. I may have been kidnapped. If that's his opinion, then that's his opinion.
Right guard, Stephen Neal, the Ambrose Burnside.
I heard the story about Ambrose Burnside about 3 or 4 times from different people.
Right tackle, Nick Kaiser, the Abraham Lincoln.
I don't really like having an upper lip hair, really, so I just went with this.
But it's wintertime, and when it's 10 degrees out there, you need a little something to cover your face.
I think a lot of people in New England sport beards. A lot of it's due to your weather conditions. I think if Santa Claus was from Florida, you wouldn't see a beard on Santa.
You know, there was a time when Tom Brady was one of those guys. A time when he wore the robust badge of courage along with his brothers in the trenches. But oh, how times have changed.
He's actually sported some upper lip plumage over the years. Doesn't stick around as long, but he just doesn't have the intestinal fortitude to really stay with it.
He needs to sort of, cover up the bud on his chin that he has, but, Tom's one of those guys, he's the best person in America or the world. I don't think us 5 can sway his personality.
The beard is a symbol of rugged individualism, but the Patriots, they made it more, much more. The beard, it's become an unbreakable bond of solidarity.
Well, our thanks to Dan Haggerty for a little trip back and a little trip forward with the New England Patriots offensive line. And beards or no beards, their job is to keep Tom Brady's uniform clean. And ankle or no ankle, Tom, next to Mark Bolger, throws outside the pocket less than any other quarterback in football. So he likes it in the pocket. His line is one of the best in football. That's why a couple of Pro Bowlers along the line, 3 of them to be in fact. And so Tom Brady, protection, key today. Now to our IBM field, the New York Giants pass rush against Tom Brady. Fellas, how must the Giants make sure that they're getting it done?
Well, Boomer, I think that, they've got to rush the passer and get Tom Brady down on the ground, but rushing the passer is something that they did better than any team in the league. They led the league in sacks. First look, bottom of the screen, OCU Manura, and we're going to take a closer look at this. This is a swim move outside. He gets himself right on top of the tackle, uses that swim, gets the right arm through, and then you want to take a direct bead to the quarterback. The turn is 90 degrees and a great chop to get the ball out at the end. On the other side, you've got more of a power guy in Michael Strahan. Makes the move upfield, but I love the acceleration once he gets down inside and through. And then you're going to see them play a lot of games with this New England offensive line. There, the tackles go outside, the ends go inside, and they do a great job right there of getting to the quarterback. If they're having good success getting to the quarterback, then New England's going to have to make some adjustments. Now, I'm going to play O.C. Umenyiora. He's a speed guy on the outside. So if I'm having success, one of the things they'll do is that when the play starts, I'm getting by, the back will come, he will chip before he gets out into his route. Another way to accomplish the exact same thing, but using it from another position, the end on the other side comes in motion. Once he gets in motion, ball snap. Again, before he goes out, he'll chip me and he'll get himself rolling to his route. But if they have to do things to keep people in, chip, guys are late to their routes, that means that the Giants are having outstanding success getting to the quarterback. That means that they're doing the thing that they have to do to have a chance to win the football game.
Well, one thing to look for in terms of the Patriots combating the Giants pass rush, and if Tom Brady's ankle is an issue today, if he's in shotgun a lot early in this game, it tells me the ankle might be an issue. That's something to watch for.
That's very observant.
Thank you very much, Coach.
It's a lot of good knowledge.
That's right.
Defensively, they're going to have to get to that pass. They're going to have to get to Tom Brady with the pass rush, Tom, because if they don't, that secondary on this defense is their weak link.
And the other
thing,
secondary. If they have an all-out pass rush, watch for Moreeeee up inside a little bit. He'll give them a little dose of the running game.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The perfect pants or the comeback kids? Find out who the real team of destiny is. Plus, what happens to the legacy of the 72 Dolphins if the Pats make it to 19-0? Don't miss Mercury Morris and Don Shula live. And how a brave soldier helped inspire the Giants from 0-2 to Super Bowl 42. Next.
Those Super Bowl indelible images, some will be cast on this field behind us coming up in a few hours. Welcome back to Sunday NFL Countdown. You know, very often sports are described in militaristic terms. Games are referred to as battles. Skills are weapons. Players are warriors. But the Giants, as they prepare for Super Bowl 42, the coaches and players, they now avoid those military comparisons. Rachel Nichols now joins us. She tells us the story of a military man who has inspired the Giants on this Super Bowl run.
Team, and we didn't know which way we was gonna go in that game against Washington.
I think our team was a little down. You know, I think we were feeling a little sorry for ourselves.
But were we gonna be the team from the year before when we was 8-8 and had all these distractions and let things bother us, or was we gonna overcome all that?
It would take a man who couldn't walk to show the Giants how to step forward. In a team meeting before their Week 3 game in Washington, Lieutenant Colonel Greg Gatson sat in front of the room and introduced himself as a former Army teammate of receivers coach Mike Sullivan. He shared the story of how he was injured in Iraq in May 2007, when he lost both of his legs after his Humvee ran over an explosive device set in the road.
A unit that I was responsible for training and making sure they were prepared to save my life. I mean, I'm in debt to my soldiers in that battalion. I mean, I was laying on the ground. You know, they took them. You know, they had to find me in the dark. You know, bleeding to death.
He's very, very powerful, and you understand exactly what's going on because he's in a real war. You know, people like to, you know, equate football with war, but it's not, you know, it's not like real bullets flying across your head and stuff.
I talked to him about how, you know, you're fighting for that guy that's right next to you. I mean, and just like my soldiers, they came to, they fought for me, and they saved my life. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about, team. Team is selfless.
I never remember a room being that quiet. I mean, you could hear a pin drop as he spoke. It was very, very moving. It was a few tears in that room.
How did him speaking influence what kind of team you turned out to be?
Huge, to be honest with you, huge. I mean, it's easy to say that now, but you knew that day. You knew that day when you talked to us and watched it. It wasn't that we were just playing for ourselves, but a little bit of us was playing for him.
The Giants started slow against the Redskins, falling behind 17-3, but they rallied in the second half, capping the game with a last-minute defensive goal line stand.
And he stepped up and stopped short. Giants stopped him on 4th and goal.
Plaxico Burress celebrated his game-winning touchdown by giving Gadsden the ball.
He could have easily kept it. And, maybe that's when I became one of the Giants.
How did knowing Greg Gadsden change the way you approached games?
Don't feel sorry for yourself. Just go out and, do what you're able to do based on the circumstances that you're presented with. And we complain about, little things. And here's a guy who, is in a wheelchair.
Burress played the rest of the season with ankle and knee injuries, often calling and texting Gadsden for support. But Gadsden wanted to do more. Just before the underdog Giants wildcard game against Tampa, he was fitted for a new pair of prosthetic legs.
I was really kind of psyched to show the guys, that I could walk, because they'd only seen me in a chair. I was in kind of in the lobby area, and I was just standing there, in my legs, standing tall.
Everybody had counted us down and counted us out, and we would come off the bus into the hotel, and he's standing there in legs, and I was just like, wow, it was an amazing thing.
They shocked all of us when we just, embraced them. And, we knew right then we was going to win the game.
The Giants did win the game, and their next game against Dallas, and their next against Green Bay.
Lawrence Guys has kicked the Giants to the Super Bowl!
Where Gadsden sat on the sidelines with them through bone-chilling temperatures.
He wanted to sit there right with us. And I think that, again, it goes back to the story when he told us. He wasn't going to leave his troops, and his troops wasn't going to leave him.
And when Corey Webster made the overtime interception that paved the way for the Giants' trip to the Super Bowl, he immediately looked for Gadsden.
He caught it. The biggest interception of his career. And he turns around and gives the ball to me. That is unselfish. And that's what the Giants are about.
If you guys win a Super Bowl, how much will Greg Gadsden be part of that Super Bowl victory?
He might get up and start running.
A lot, big time. He's going to get a ring. He's got to get a ring. If not, I think somebody might give him their ring.
No, I'd give him my ring if I had to. They didn't give him one. I think he's been a tremendous help for us.
Amazing story of inspiration. A couple of postscripts. There's a group of NFL players in Iraq with some of our troops over there serving. They'll help them as best they can enjoy the Super Bowl Sunday. And Lieutenant Colonel Gadsden, he is here. He was at the Giants walkthrough yesterday and will be boarding the team bus in a little bit to come on over with the Giants as they head to University of Phoenix Stadium to enjoy Super Bowl 42 in person. A reminder as we continue with Sunday NFL Countdown, our aerial coverage from here in Glendale, Arizona, and all over the desert provided by Goodyear. Get there on Triple Tread Technology. Sunday NFL Countdown continues.
The Pats finally on Mercury Morris's block. The Dolphins legend and Coach Don Shula reveal what they think of the perfect Pats now. Getting inside the head of Eli Manning. What Bill Belichick will have in store for the Giants QB. And why history says Eli is in trouble. And see what happens when Jason Krause taking it to the house. Took it to Tom Brady on Media Day. Next. Watching a special edition of Sunday NFL Countdown from Arizona, presented by IBM.
And the Patriots are 18-0. Super Bowl, here we come.
Winning that last game and making that the perfect season, that's when the pressure really built.
We're gonna fight! We're gonna lay down!
If
If you make it, we'll move over and welcome you to the mountaintop.
I would be the first guy to call that coach and congratulate him on such a great accomplishment.
Perfection. Flawless. Absolute perfection.
Don't call me when they're in my town. Call me when they're on my block.
Welcome to Arizona, where the Patriots are in the neighborhood of the 1972 Miami Dolphins. And so in our neighborhood as well, we have the coach of that team, Don Shula, the Hall of Fame coach, and the 1,000-yard back, Eugene Mercury Morris. He was lightning, and he's still lightning with the tongue today. And of course, the coach has won more games than anyone in the history of the National Football League, including in 1972 when his Miami Dolphins went a perfect 17-0. Don Shula, Mercury Morris are here with us here in Scottsdale, along with another Super Bowl coach and a Hall of Fame coach, and that would be Coach Mike Ditka. Welcome, guys.
Good to be with you.
Welcome. We have Florida weather. We didn't quite warm it up for you. Honest, 35 years. There've been runs. Didn't you know that this day would and they haven't won yet, the Patriots, but didn't you know, Coach and Mercury, that this one day would come?
You know, there were years where, you know, the Colts were 13-0. San Diego beat them. You know, other teams looked like they were going to run the table. You know, Mike's team. There was only one team that beat Mike's team that year.
I remember.
It was the Miami Dolphins, I think it was. But it's just tough to do. When you think that nobody had done it before us and nobody's done it since, that's how tough it is to do. That's why you have to take your hat off to New England now.
You knew this would come, Merc.
Actually, it's not a knowing, but there's an eventuality, and it brought. We came up for grabs every year for the last 35 years. But however, this record is old enough to be president. So when you look at it from that perspective, 1,290 chances ago, we did this. So I take my hat off to the Patriots because that only lets you know how difficult this is to go from game one to the last game and remain unbeaten.
Well, Mark, they're in the neighborhood, they're in the house, they open the refrigerator, they're eating the food, but only because you invited them.
I say that they're on my block, riding around in their car. They'll get a chance this week. Now, whether or not they park, that's another thing.
All right, now well, you never take your football cap off. The Giants, what do they have to do today? If you're in there, Merc, I know you're in there, huddle. If you're coaching them,
the Giants have to play like I think the Ravens played a couple of weeks ago. The Ravens played them tough, and they ran with the football. They control the clock. You got to keep the ball out of Brady's hand because Brady is not going to make many. He made 3 interceptions the last ball game, but he's not going to make many mistakes. So if you can control the ball, keep the ball out of Brady's hands, I think you can keep the game close that way.
They run on them. Can the Giants run?
Can the Giants run on them?
Will they? Yes.